Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be discussing tips for the removal and replacement of the spark plugs and coils on this 2025 Toyota Corolla LE with the 2.0 liter engine. If you find my tips to be helpful, please like, subscribe, and comment. Now let's get started. This is an inline 4-cylinder engine, and you have coils and spark plugs at each of these locations. 1, 2, 3, and 4. For demonstration purposes, we're going to be removing the spark plug and coil at this location. Some of the symptoms associated with faulty spark plugs and coils include misfire, trouble starting, rough idle, engine knocking, and to check engine light with a whole host of codes. And I'll just name a few: P0300, P1305 through P1340. So you might ask, what do these parts do? Well, the spark plugs ignite the fuel mixture, and the coils transforms the battery voltage to a much higher voltage for the spark plugs. Our supply list includes spark plugs or coils as needed, a 14mm socket or a 9/16 thin-walled spark plug socket, an 8mm socket, and a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 inch sockets with extensions. Please see other items in the description below. Let's go ahead and move forward with the removal of the coil at this time. What I want to do is remove this electrical connector right here. Squeeze on the back and pull it out. And these are notorious for being very tight and hard to remove. This is where your flat tip screwdriver comes in. And you're going to wedge it down right here. I'm barely pushing it in there. Squeezing, and then you rotate the flat tip screwdriver like that. Okay, so that's a pro tip for you. Push that off to the side. Now let's work on that 8mm bolt. Okay. Set that right there. Carefully pull the coil out, just like that. And there you have it. And I like to inspect my coils as soon as I take them out, so I don't have to worry about it. Right there you see your 3 electrical prongs. They look nice and straight. And looking at the top here, it looks concave, and that's what you want. If this was swollen or kind of bumpy, you'd want to get rid of it. That means it's faulting. It's probably either, if it's not working already, it's going to fail soon. Okay? Moving down here, this is a dust cover, okay, for this valve cover. Right? So this dust cover must be in place. Look at this shaft. We're going to flex it a little bit. You see there's no cracks in here. When these get old, you'll see cracks, fine hairline cracks in here, but this one doesn't have that. Okay, there's a rubber end, and right down the barrel, you'll see there's a kind of a spring or electrical pickup, and a little bit of dielectric grease right in here, and that prevents the spark plug from arcing if the insulator were to break. Okay, this looks great. I'm going to set this off to the side. Okay, next we're going to remove our spark plug. Once again, using our 3/8 inch ratchet with the extension and a 14mm socket. Now what you want to do is be very careful and try to keep this extension in the center of the hole. Okay? Once it's loose, press that button there and just remove it by hand. And some people don't know that these extensions have a little grippy area right there, right? So you can use that to twist the extension. All right? And once you get it so far, it'll kind of rise and drop, and that's when you know you can remove the spark plug. Okay? There we go. Spark plug is loose. You can use your coil, go back in, Press down, give it a turn, and pull it out. There you go. Here is your spark plug. I'm not going to go into great deal about this spark plug because there's lots of spark plug videos out there. But what I will say is this is a Iridium tip spark plug. It looks in great shape. You can see the insulator there. There are minimal fouling or deposits there. Okay. There's no rust here. Okay. If there was rust here, you could put a very, very light coat of anti-seize here, but I would caution you that if you do put anti-seize here, that may affect your torque. When you have to torque this down, you may over torque the spark plug. So just be very cautious with that, okay? This happens to be a Denso spark plug, but there's plenty of fine spark plugs out there. And that's all I want to say about this spark plug. And at this time, let's just go ahead and get these parts reinstalled. If I were installing this brand new spark plug for the very first time, take some dielectric grease, very small amount, and rub it on the outside of that porcelain insulator. And what that's going to do is that's going to illuminate any cracks that may be in this insulator. If there's any cracks, you must toss it out, okay? It's no good. Secondly, by putting a light coat of grease on there, you minimize damaging this more expensive coil if you were to take off your spark plugs for whatever reason. So what you can do now is use your coil, right? Slide the plug down into the hole and get it started. I don't mind if it rattles back and forth a little bit. Okay, now that it's started, you pull it off. Now you can go back in with your ratchet and tighten it down. That's pretty snug. The ratchet back on. Okay, so it's, and I'm going to call that seated. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to torque it down. Okay? Okay, and there you go. And I'll have the torque setting on the screen for you. Okay, let's go ahead and get this coil reinstalled. Very carefully slide it in. And at this point, you're going to kind of twist and make sure that it's on the spark plug. Okay? I'm going to line up this hole right here for the bolt. Get the bolt started. Then finish it off with the socket and ratchet. And at this point, I like to kind of shake it and turn, and it just needs to be snug. Okay? Finishing up here, we're gonna look at our female connector and the gasket and make sure that gasket is in place and not deformed. Okay? Carefully slide it into place. Listen for the click. There you go. Well, folks, that wraps up the removal and replacement of the coils and spark plugs on this 2025 Toyota Corolla with the 2.0 liter engine. I hope you guys found my tips to be helpful. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, drive defensively.